Good morning. This is Cousin Vinny, back with you to discuss a few things on Saturday morning, August 26th. I took the Ntap trade, part of the cloud space, for a number of reasons, which I'm going to outline right now. Notice that Ntap has been on a trend for some time, since June of 2009, and has bounced off the 100 EMA a number of times and has traveled up and continues on that path. You have been watching the news, and we saw what happened with 3Com, and a lot of buzz has been recently about some of the other companies in this space, namely Ntap, WDC, STX, and so forth. NZ made a move last week, as you know, on Friday. So, with that said, with Ntap, I was looking at this candle last week on Thursday, where we had very high volume. We had a turn up in the stochastics off of the 100 EMA, and yesterday the MACD started to approach a buy signal as well. So with the Bollinger Bands working off the corresponding band, a bounce from here, I'm looking for a bounce up to the $44 to $45 range over the next week or two. Like I said, there's a lot of buzz in this space, so I anticipate that will continue. Now, thinking about the bigger picture, I'm looking at a few other charts. This is from Chart Pattern Trader on stock charts, and I'm looking at what's going on with the Dow daily, what happens at particular moving averages, and what phase we happen to be in. Right now we're over here in August, of course. We've moved away from the 20 and the 50 EMAs, and we had a nice reversal candle yesterday. I'm looking for this to trade back up at least a few 100 points on the Dow. The reason why that's important to me is because I want to be on the right side of a bullish trade, and in this case I want the market to be going in the same direction with me. Now, with the New York Stock Exchange, in this particular chart, we're looking at what happens every time every time the stochastics get oversold. One of the indicators that Johnny uses, as you know, along with the Bollinger Bands. So we had a nice move here in July. We tagged the upper band. We moved down to the lower band. Now we're oversold on stochastics, and the MACD histogram is starting to turn back up, which is a bullish sign. I'm looking for this to move back up into this range here, the center line being the middle of the Bollinger Band at 69.44 on the NYA. Now, on the larger perspective, the bearish camp is looking at this large head and shoulders pattern, and of course the bullish camp is looking at this inverted head and shoulders. So when we move back up, I think it's likely that we could move back up into 1080 to 1090, and at that point I'll be exiting longs and watching what's happening. This is my friend Ted Burge, who has his site, thetedlines.com. You might want to check it out. He's a really good trader who's been in the business for some time. I think he said 36 years at last count. But he uses point and figure charts a lot to establish these trend lines. As you can see, the S&P bounced off support. This is a long-term trend line going way back in time. Support, and we're right now at short-term resistance at 1065 and change. So I'd be watching that as well to see what happens on Monday. Anticipate what might happen at that resistance, by the way. Comp looks good, although we're right at resistance. I'll be looking to see what happens, being Ntap is in that space as well on the comp. NASDAQ 100, you can see we had a nice reversal candle, and so forth. So looking at what happened Friday, everything was green. So with that in mind, Ntap, I'm looking for that to go higher, 44 to 45 range. Again, this is Cousin Vinny. That's my one trade going into next week, along with AMD, which Pete Rock brought out on Friday. Had a nice entry there when we dipped down. So that said, have a nice week coming forward on Monday, and hopefully things will look good. Remember to take profits. We'll talk to you soon.